You got 53 seconds. You got your notebooks open for less or 7. Oh, today's lesson 75. Monte, where's your notebook? He says he's going to let you pay for it, which will save any less point. And then Camonte either transfer it over to your notebook when you find it, or somehow tape it in there or something. 20 seconds. Please make sure that you are ready for class at all times. All right, do nows in the middle. Notebooks open. Today's lesson 75. Yeah, I'll actually spend it. Lesson 75. Still no notebook. But, oh man. It goes in as a test grade. We get a 0 on it. That's really, really bad. All right. Lesson 75. Lesson 75. We're talking about changing fractions and decimals into a percent. The I can statement for today is I can write decimals and fractions as percents. Say that with me. I can write decimals and fractions as a percent. It's not that hard. Because unlike what your gym coach or sports coach told you, they tell you to give 110%. In all actuality, how much effort can you actually put into a game? Can you go over 100%?
Yes.
No, unless you're like a freak of nature, I guess. But usually a normal human being can only give 100% of their effort and time. So keep that in mind as we're working through today. Everything has to be out of 100. Got it? 100's the base. Everything else has to meet the 100 standard. Got it? So example 1. Write 3 over 100 as a percent. Now think about this way. Who's ever seen, I know probably some of you are going to raise your hand, but Dragon Ball Z. Good. I love Dragon Ball Z as well. If you have one of those scouters, you know the scouters that can judge power levels, and you put on a base of a 0 to 100, and you saw a 3, how would that show up as a percent? If it's 0 from 100, it would just show up as Kingston 3%. That's your answer.
What?
Because everything's out of 100. The only time you have to change something is if it's not over 100. If it's 3 over 100, or if it's 0.03, which is actually the same thing as 300ths, because this is the tenths. I'm going to change colors so you can see better. This is the tenths. This is the hundredths. So if you have a decimal where the number is a second, if they have 2 numbers behind the decimal, that means you just got to change it to the percent. If you see it over 100, you just got to turn it to percent. Because it's always out of what magic number? What's the magic number for today? Destiny? 100. Got it?
Good.
Is that in your notes? Kamari?
So you do it for every time I can see like this?
It's just whatever the top is, with the percent sign behind it. So for instance, if you had like 0.33, what's the percent of that? McKenna? Per. percent. You gotta say the percent, all right? Now, let's go on to example number 2. For example number 2 gives you, right, 3/10 as a percent. Now, this is not meeting the standard. This is not the magic number. It's 10. So before you can find the percent, you got to change that denominator into 100. What would you multiply 10 by to get to 100? Because that's the magic number. That's the sweet spot. You want to get to 100. Naraya. Right, you're going to multiply 10 by 10. Now, isn't there a rule when we're working with fractions, if something happens to the bottom, something happens to the top? Yes, that's a big rule. So what's going to happen to the 3 on top? London? Right. So remember, boys and girls, when you're converting something, changing a fraction, that multiplication thing has to have the same number. And the magic number is, Chastity? What's the magic number today?
100.
100. So now we all know 10 times 10 is 100. Strong silent hand. What is 3 times 10? Jonathan. Now Destiny. What is 30 hundredths as a percent? What was it? Correct. Please stop laughing in the corner over there. I can hear everything you're saying. Very rude. %. Simple enough, eh? Another thing to do. So if you want to know what this would look like as a decimal, this would look like at 0.3. So funny thing is, when you look at everything on the board, it means exactly the same thing. Isn't that kind of weird? I got 1, 2, 3 different colors up there, but absolutely everything means exactly the same thing. Isn't that weird? That is weird. Kingston?
So,
Can I move on and then you can think about it? Okay, this one will be pretty easy. 0 point, did I record this? Oh, thank goodness. 0.12. What is that as a percent? Antoine?
12%.
It is 12%. Because the magic number is 100. This is the 100th place. So if you wrote this as a fraction, it would be 12 hundredths. And even if you reduced it, you would still, actually you just don't want to reduce it because you're going for the magic number. What's that magic number, Janasia? It's 100. Everything's out of 100. So if it's over 100, it's whatever the numerator is. If it's 0.12 numbers, it's whatever the number is. So, moving on. Where am I? Example number 4, which I actually just accidentally did. I skipped example number 3. Let's do example number 3. Listen closely. It says, of the 30 students who took the test, 15 earned an A. What percentage of the students earned an A? So the total amount of students is 30 kids. 15 of them earned an A. Jamarian, what's your question? You're good? Okay. So we have 15 out of 30. First of all, when you got something problem like this, especially a word problem, when it's asking you how many of this group, the first thing you got to do is you got to reduce the fraction. What would 15 over 30 be reduced to? Destiny. 1/2, because you can divide this by 15, You divide this by 15 equals 1/2. Now, what's that magic number we're looking for? What's that magic number that your coach says gives 110%? He's a liar. You can't do that. Kingston, what's the magic number? Right. Everything's out of 100. How will we get 1 and what would yeah. Wait. Everyone take a deep breath. Let it out. How do we get 2? Because we're starting with the denominator. The denominator is the one that needs to become 100. Not the numerator, the denominator. So how do we get 2 to 100? Real quick. We start from the bottom, now we're here. How do we get 2 to 100? William? Not by 100, because 100 times 2 is a 200. Kingston? Right, you would multiply it by 50. Which means you have to do what with the 50? Multiply it by the top as well. What's your new fraction if you multiply 1 by 50 and 2 by 50? Come on, Tay. 50 hundredths. McKenna, how would you write that as a percent? 50%. So if it is a word problem and it's asking you of this many of this, you got to reduce it first. Vish? Because you need to find that individual student. You can't take the whole group or that group of 15. You got to find that one of that 15. Example number 5. And I believe this is the last one. Nope, we got 6. I'm sorry. But these will go pretty quick because so far you seem to be getting that the magic number is what, class?
100.
Okay, so if the magic number is 100, what is 0.08 as a percent? Jamaria? 8%.
No.
Because if you wrote this as a fraction, it's 8 over 100. Because that's the hundredths place. Do not forget that when you're working with decimals, the first one's not the ones. Because we're starting with the tenths, hundredths, and that's how we got that. All right, last but not least, hopefully you know how to do this one already. 0.8. Oh no. What do we do with this? How in the world do we figure this out? I can't even think of straight. How do I figure this out? Janasia? What's your question? One more time, louder. One more time. Try it nice and loud, otherwise I'm going to have to move on. Did you say number 4? Do we do number 4? What? I gotta move on. You gotta speak louder because I can't hear you. You got a mask off. This gets actually super, super simple. All you're gonna do is, because this is the tens place, this is the hundredths, you want to get to that hundredths place. So all you do is you add a zero. Oh. Malfunction. Everybody mark these. You add a 0 right there. Now, what is your percentage? You got 80. Miera?
8.
Huh?
8.
Not 8. Mari? 80%. So again, if you have something like this, all you do is you just put a 0 behind the number, and that's your percent. Easy enough?
Yes.
Any questions? McCrease?
No.
Okay. If you can confidently say, I can write decimals and fractions as percents, raise your pencil above your head. You have the top. You will have the top to help you. You will have your book to help you. You will have your notes to help you. Now that I have the exit tickets in my hands, if I hear a peep, and I literally mean even in the smallest conversation without my permission, you will get all 30 problems tomorrow. Can you, no, go to your next class, come and study out because I can't do it right now. I don't want you to miss any more class, okay? If you haven't noticed, both 6th grade got all. So do not test me. You want one? Or do you need help? Okay. Because if you don't have your pencil above your head, I'm going to skip you, come back to you, and ask you what's going on. Because I'd rather you be 100% certain before you start taking this stuff. There's 6 questions. All of them are based off this lesson. Remember, class, on 3, what's the magic number? 1, 2, 3. That's the magic number. Get ready. Get set. Go. The chat is open if you have any questions. Please ask questions now. Otherwise, you are free to leave.